ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
The LouieTeeNetwork is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Wildcard Weekend Overtime. Patriots, Chargers. Eventually, we were going to get one of these, right? Now, this game wasn't terrible, but it didn't give us the late game heroics, the late game drama and buildup that the first 4 games gave us this weekend. But this was relatively close throughout. It was a 1-score game for basically the entirety of the game until the Hunter Henry touchdown to extend it out to the final score that you see in front of you, 16-3. Patriots advance to the divisional round where they'll take on the winner of tomorrow's game, 4-5 matchup. So in the AFC and the NFC, we've got the exact same seeding on both sides of the bracket. The 1 and the 6 seed on both sides. The 2, and I think it's going to be exactly the same thing. The 2 and the 5 on the NFC side. And I think you're going to have the 2 and the 5 because I expect Houston to go to Pittsburgh and win. And so I think you're going to see perfect symmetry on both sides of the bracket when it's all said and done after the Texans take care of business against the Steelers on Monday night. They've already given us the times and the dates, or excuse me, the dates, not the times. They'll wait until Houston beats Pittsburgh tomorrow to release the times for all of the games. But we do know that both 1-6 matchups will be featured on Saturday. So Denver, your 1 seed in the AFC, will be hosting the 6-seeded Buffalo Bills. And I think that's going to be the first game. I think I could be wrong. The nightcapper, I think, is ultimately going to be Seattle, San Francisco. Your 1 seed in the NFC, Seattle against the San Francisco 49ers. But they could easily reverse that. Denver and Josh Allen and all of that could be your nightcapper there. So we'll see what they decide to do. I'm thinking maybe, now that I'm talking myself through it, Josh Allen, probably more of a box office draw than Brock Purdy or Sam Darnold. So maybe you get Broncos and Bills in the nightcap at 8:30 on Saturday night. And then you'll get the 2-5 matchups on Sunday. And you know the reason why the NFL did this. They want to give the 1 seeds the best advantage, right? You earned the right to have the best advantage. They didn't play last week, so you let them play on Saturday. But also, those 6 seed teams, you don't want them getting extra days of rest. You know, Buffalo played today. They're going to be on short rest because they're going to play next Saturday. You don't get the benefit of that. You want to give the best advantage you can to the 1 seed. They earn that throughout the season. So you're going to see both 1 seeds playing on Saturday, and you're going to see both 2 seeds playing on Sunday. Let's get to this game, though. The Patriots dominated this game. The scoreboard won't indicate that. It didn't, it's crazy as it ended up being. The scoreboard doesn't really indicate how this game felt watching it. The Patriots seem to be moving the football with regularity, but there always seemed to be some sort of mishap that stopped them from putting points on the board, whether they had to settle for a field goal, which they had to do twice. Drake May fumbled on one of those occasions. Drake May threw an interception on another occasion. So it seemed like everything that happened, would derail them, but they were dominating this game, and the Chargers weren't able to really move the football. They weren't able to really establish themselves. And I think that's where I start, as we start with the Patriots side of the things. Drake May's first career NFL postseason game was a success. There were some mistakes, obviously. He was sacked. Both quarterbacks were harassed in this game. Drake May was sacked 5 times by this Chargers defense. Hit a couple of times really good, too. I mean, really lit up a couple of times. But he's a thoroughbred. He was able to shake it off, bounce back, use his legs. He was fantastic using his legs. Had the big 30-plus yard run right before the half to set them up with a much-needed field goal heading into the halftime break to give them the 6-3 lead in a game that just felt like a prize fight where both fighters were feeling each other out for the first 6 rounds, and you were waiting for someone to actually, throw a power punch, try and do something. And finally, he broke that seal, and it felt like after that run, he kind of got into a rhythm. The Chargers started the ball with the second half. They went 3 and out, and immediately got to work, took them down the field. They got another field goal, and it just felt like they kind of got into a rhythm. But again, mistakes kept happening. He fumbled on one possession, and so they didn't have the proof to show that they were dominating, but everything said that this was total domination by the Patriots. May, I thought, did a great job of taking because this is a tough Jesse Minter defense to go against. They play a lot of zone coverage. They force you to check it down, make you be patient. Can you continue to take the check down? Will you continue to be patient? And May's legs loosened that zone up a little bit as he started to attack the line of scrimmage. Guys, his eyes come down. They start to see Drake May, and now you get these holes behind in the secondary, and he started to find the tight ends, and he started to find Kayshon Boutte and guys like that. Boutte with a couple of big catch and runs in this game. Also, I thought Ramondre Stevenson, huge in this game, had a good game on the ground rushing, also had the big 44-yard catch and run early in the ball game. So the Patriots did a really good job in run after the catch, which is what you have to do against a team that plays a ton of zone. You got to break a tackle. You got to make a guy miss. And you got to get run after the catch. And that's what they were able to do tonight. And Drake May did a really good job of attacking the line of scrimmage with his legs. I thought that Josh McDaniels did a phenomenal job of showcasing all of the things that Drake May can do in the drop back game with his legs. How about the speed option, right? On a 3rd down and short, to showcase that Drake May has that in his bag as well. So I thought it was a well-called game by McDaniels, really, putting Drake May in positions to succeed. They kept them in the gun. They spread out the Chargers. A lot of easy, pitch and catch opportunities to get drives started. I thought the run game was effective enough to the point where when they decided to go to it, they were able to get 4 or 5 yards and get into those manageable down and distances. And I thought it was just the right amount of run because Drake May is the guy that you've been leaning on for much of the season. So I thought it was the right amount of run mixed in with an assortment of passes to various receivers. You saw everybody get involved. Pop Douglas had a target and a catch. You had Stephon Diggs get involved early. Wasn't really a big part of the offense tonight. It was more of the Kayshon Boutte and Hunter Henry show from that regard. But it was just good to see Drake spraying the ball around to various targets, really looking comfortable in command of the offense. And I think the thing that I was most impressed with is when it wasn't there, he didn't try to force it. So many times, so often, young quarterbacks refuse to take the check down, right? Their first inclination is to take off and run, right? If you're an athlete, take off and run. They don't look for the check down. And Drake May did a great job of surveying the field. If he didn't like his first or second read, get to the check down. And a lot of times that check down, wide open, space to operate, because again, the Chargers play such a heavy zone scheme that they're worried about making sure they take away those intermediate throws. So they're giving you that underneath cushion. And he kept taking those underneath throws to Ramondre Stevenson, to some of the underneath targets. And it made for a really great balance of forcing the Chargers to then loosen up that zone, come up a little bit to respect some of those underneath throws. And that loosened up some of those holes. And you saw Drake May attack the line of scrimmage. There's Kayshon Boutte wide open behind the corner because the corner sags up, right? And then you saw a number of Hunter Henry touchdown on that corner route. The same kind of concept and principle, right? You get the corner sagged up a little bit, tighten up a little bit instead of sagging off and getting underneath that corner route, because they had been attacking underneath, because Drake May's legs had become so prevalent. So, I thought May just did a really good job of taking what was there all night long, showing why he was one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league this year. He only had 1 or 2 misses where you went, Drake. The one to Austin Hooper kind of stands out. That's a throw I know he'd like to have back, but he was really good tonight. The run game was really good for them tonight, but I can't say enough about this defense. My God, today, Zach Orr was in his bag tonight. Mike Vrabel has these boys out here playing, and they had no answers up front for what the Patriots were doing. They got after Justin Herbert early. They got after Justin Herbert often. They tore his ass up. I'm going to just be honest with you. They really took it to Justin Herbert. How many times did they sack Herbert? Now, I'm actually interested in how many times they hit him, too. They sacked Justin Herbert 6 times. They had to hit him another 4 or 5 times. Let's see how many times they actually hit Herbert in this game. They hit Justin Herbert 11 times. I knew it had to be 4 or 5 more times. So they sacked him 6 times. They hit him 11 times in this game. They harassed the shit out of him, abused him. How many times did they force him to fumble in this game? It had to be, see, Herbert fumbled twice. Both quarterbacks fumbled twice in this game. Both quarterbacks lost one of those fumbles. So both quarterbacks were hit, but Herbert took some hellacious shots. And it reminds you of the biggest issue that the Chargers have had. We'll get to that when we get to the Chargers side of things, but it's a testament to what this Patriots defense has been this year. They've been a physical group that plays aggressively, and you saw that again tonight. They played man coverage, a ton of man coverage. They dared the Chargers to win, and this is the problem with Greg Roman. And again, we'll get to him when we get to the Chargers side of things, but this is the problem with Greg Roman, why he wasn't as successful in Baltimore, or they had to end their tenure there, because you get games like this where his offense just isn't conducive to making the necessary adjustments when a team is being this aggressive and attacking you. And I've got questions, simple questions, that if you're worth your weight in gold as a play caller, then there should have been easy fixes, easy responses, easy adjustments to what was being done to Justin Herbert in this offensive line tonight. But you just didn't see it. And to Zach Orr and the New England Patriots' credit, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If they can't stop it, keep doing it. And they kept bringing pressure, and Herbert kept holding on to the football and taking hellacious shots. And they did a good job on the back end. Even when Gonzalez left the game, I thought they were going to attack the corner that came in for him, and they just decided, you know what? We're not even going to give him time to attack the corner. We're just going to come after him. And so Patriots defensively shut down the run. Kamani Vidal was very limited in what he was able to contribute on the ground. And thus, they really put the onus on Justin Herbert's shoulders to go win the game and his legs, and he wasn't able to do it. And that's a testament to this Patriots defense that has been really good all season long. So big win for the Patriots. Wasn't the prettiest, but it doesn't matter in the postseason. It doesn't matter in the regular season. I always tell you, it wasn't pretty, but it was gritty. And most importantly, it was a dub. And they got it done. And they move on to the divisional round. Now, they're going to have to clean some things up. They're going to have to protect Drake May better. They're going to have to take away, get rid of these turnovers. It had 2 turnovers tonight. The ball was on the ground twice. They were able to recover one. That one at the end there where the offensive lineman recovered it, that easily could have been a scoop and score, and this would have been a totally different game, and all of a sudden you would have been in a dogfight. So they have some things that they have to clean up. But, I mean, overall, you love what you saw from the defense. You really like what you saw from Drake May, sans for the turnovers and the ball being put on the ground a couple of times. You really love what he was able to do in this game. I thought he really controlled the tempo and the pace. I thought he did a great job of taking what was there. I just thought it was a really good first exposure to the postseason for Drake May. You go to the Chargers side of things, and where do we begin? You have to start with Justin Herbert, right? God, he got his ass whooped tonight. But he was awful. Like, he was bad. And yeah, the offensive line sucked, man. Golly. I mean, it's tough to really kill him because the offensive line was just putrid tonight. But he was bad. There were opportunities. There's Lad McConkey streaking down the sideline, and he underthrows him. There's QJ up the sideline, the one that hit Christian Gonzalez in his back. You got to throw that ball and lead. I'd rather miss overthrowing in that particular instance than underthrowing. If you're going to underthrow, your guy better draw a pass interference penalty, right? And on neither one of those instances, pass interference was called. They were just incomplete passes. You can't underthrow those footballs if you're Herbert. You get up in the pocket and you use your legs to extend the play, and now you've got a clear picture of where that ball needs to be delivered. You have to make those throws, and he constantly missed. Easy throws underneath to Keenan Allen. Misses. Allen had a drop on a play, but it was a penalty anyway for an illegal shift, so it wouldn't have counted anyhow. But they were out of sorts. They were out of sync. And to me, it starts with Herbert, but I would even take it a step further and say it starts with Greg Roman. I thought this was a poorly called football game. They never gave Justin Herbert a chance with the play calling. And what do I mean by this? Where are the easy, simple completions? Like at the end of the game when they were trying to get down the field and the Patriots were giving them underneath throws, where were those throws earlier in the game? You can't tell me that those hitches, those 5-yard stop routes weren't there. Something shallow crosses weren't there with all the man coverage they were playing. You couldn't run any mesh concepts. You can't tell me that there weren't going to be some opportunities there. But above all else, they're kicking the living shit out of your quarterback. Where's the wide receiver screens against this pressure? Where are the screens and the quick throws to back them off and get them out of those pressure looks? They're bringing 6 and 7 with impunity in this game. Poor Justin Herbert. Impunity. And some of these looks, they should have been protected. Herbert should have been able to stand tall in there. The one where Anthony Jennings just clobbers him, that shouldn't have happened. You get a simple twist there. He loops around. The guard doesn't come off of, the pick fast enough. But then Kamani Vidal needed to pick that up too. Somebody's got to touch Anthony Jennings. He can't get a scot-free, hit on the quarterback there. But even still, with those pressure looks, guys got to get out of there if they're not coming on the blitz. Where are the screens behind those pressures or those pressure looks to make them pay for being overly aggressive, for attacking the line of scrimmage, for mugging the line of scrimmage? Where are the quick throws? If you're playing against a Sean McVay or Kyle Shanahan, they would have peppered this Zach Orr defense to death with screens. I dare you to come with that blitz again. I double dog dare you to mug the A-gaps with defenders and then try to drop them out at the snap and think you ain't about to get this damn wide receiver screen. Think you ain't about to get this tunnel screen. Think I ain't about to set up this running back screen. Think I ain't about to set up this damn tight end screen on your ass. You got an athletic tight end. Where are the screens? Where are the quick throws? Where's the quick game? Everything felt like drop back and Herbert standing back there forever, waiting to get crushed. Where is the quick game? This game felt like it was sabotage offensively. They never got into a rhythm because they never allowed themselves to. And then there were penalties, false starts, things before they even snapped the ball that would set them back. They were hurting themselves. They just looked out of sorts tonight. The offense was anemic, and Herbert didn't do himself any favors. He was not good tonight. But again, you start getting the living shit beat out of you, you wouldn't be on your game either. But I'm not here to make any excuses for Justin Herbert. Like, he's now 0-3 in the postseason. He's looked awful in 2 out of the 3 games. He was terrible in the second half against Jacksonville in his first playoff game, but he was outstanding in the first half, which is how they built the 27-0 lead. But he was awful against the Texans last year. He was awful again tonight. And now you start asking yourself, and again, next year you hope to get all of your guys back, Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt on that offensive line, and you hope that you have the guys that you've paid all this money to and spent the resources on to protect him so that you don't have to go through this again. And maybe it'll look a lot different, but it was bad tonight. And even when he had time, he still was missing. And that was the disappointing part for me, is that Herbert's play didn't give his team a chance, even though they didn't give him a chance, I think, with the play call and with the protection or lack thereof. The defense did everything they could. Hats off to that defense. They've been the linchpin of this football team all year long under Jesse Minter. They did it again. They did it again tonight. They were fantastic. They gave this offense every opportunity to win the game. They gave them every opportunity to be in this game when they should have been out of it. This defense, hats off to them. You knew eventually the dam would break, right? Like, there's only so much that this defense can withstand before finally the Patriots break through, and it happened on the touchdown to Hunter Henry. But they forced ample field goals. I thought the Chargers got hosed there late in the first half, which ultimately led to a Patriots field goal with the no call on the Justin Herbert getting hit on the head. First of all, it's a stupid rule, like forcible contact to the head. They abuse that rule. I think in the playoffs, they've done a really good job of just letting these guys play. In a lot of instances on plays that normally are flagged during the regular season, they've been a little bit more lenient, which I love. It's playoff football. Let these guys play. Let the players on the field decide the outcome of these games. You don't impart yourself unless it needs to happen. And for the most part, I felt that way all weekend, that these officials have allowed these players to play in these games. But that was a missed call, obviously. And then they ended up having to punt. And then you get the big Drake May run, and they get the field goal before halftime. But, outstanding job by this defense. They sacked Drake May 5 times. They forced Drake May to fumble twice. They recovered one of those fumbles. They picked Drake May off. They did a lot of things in this game to put their team in the best position to try to win, and unfortunately, they weren't able to do it. They give them great opportunity, golden field position after the May interception, and I think Deion Henley picked them off, and they could only, as a matter of fact, I think they got nothing out of that. They went for it on 4th down and did not score. They got held, to a field goal on another opportunity trip down the field. It's unfortunate. This defense deserved better tonight. They played winning football, but it wasn't good enough. And so now, again, with another loss, now the pressure is starting to mount on Justin Herbert. The conversations will start to arise about his lack of postseason success. Now you're 0-3. And 2 of these games, the last 2 in particular, have been awful performances on your part. And so the question starts to beg, how good is Justin Herbert in these pressure-packed situations? We had questions about him when he was at Oregon about, can he win big games? And remember, his final game of his collegiate career, he finally won the Rose Bowl. And that took a weight off of his shoulders as he exited Oregon a winner. But he has struggled in these big games as a pro to find a way to get his team, even in a position like last year, the game wasn't close against Houston because he threw about 4 interceptions. This year, he didn't turn it over, right? But once with the fumble, but he did fumble twice. And he did get sacked 6 times, and he took a beating tonight. My goodness. He took a beating. He's going to be sore. There are a couple of times where I'm like, Justin, get up. Justin, get up. Oh, Lord, Justin, get up. Like, he fell, and it looked like he was out of it. And so he's going to be sore tomorrow for sure. The only reason I'm not going to kill the offensive line is because I know the struggles of this offensive line. This is not what they envisioned when they paid Rashawn Slater, when they drafted Joe Alt with a 1st-round pick, when they signed, Mekhi Becton in the offseason. This is not what they envisioned the offensive line being. So I'll give them a pass there. It still wasn't good enough. But next year, the offensive line, assuming that's a pretty significant injury that Rashawn Slater incurred, assuming that he comes back and he's right back to the form that landed him that massive contract, and Joe Alt is completely healthy, which I have no doubts he will be, I expect this offensive line to be sturdy in front of Herbert, and then we really will be able to assess him truly in the postseason. But until he actually wins, it doesn't matter what his offensive line has or hasn't done, is or isn't doing. He has to play better. And he's 0-3 in the postseason for a reason, because he hasn't played well enough. Can't put the blame on the defense. You can't put the blame on special teams or anybody else. He has to play better. And he didn't tonight. Defense gave them ample opportunities to be in this game, to win this game, and Herbert and the offense just did not get it done. So we will get to your comments here in a second. Before we do that, let's get to get a word from one of our sponsors, come back on the other side, and we will get to your comments. Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips, play in fantasy leagues, and win real money on pick contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper. All right, so big shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. I am happy to announce the drought is finally over. Your man Louie T has finally hit the winning circle on Sleeper in the NFL space. And this is the best. I've been working towards this all season long because I watch too many games. I watch too much football to not be good at this, right? And I told you, Sleeper has been killing it all weekend long, really for the last month. They've been giving out 100% boosts. This was 80%, as you can see, 80% boost in the NFL space. They've got another 30% boost for the NFL for tomorrow's game. I'm probably going to double back. Us degenerates call it reinvesting. I just walked away with 1,000. This is a Thou Wow ticket right here that I just was able to put together. And this was over 3 days. I had to allow this to bake in the oven. So with the 5 games, I spread out my picks over 4 of them, right? I left the Eagles game alone. That one is nasty. I wanted no parts of that because I didn't know what the offense was going to look like there. But in the first game on Saturday, I took Matthew Stafford and Chuba Hubbard. Stafford to go over the 262.5 yards. Chuba Hubbard to have 2 catches, right? 1.5 catches. Boom and boom. All right. So got those out of the way. I was cussing out Chuba Hubbard because he had that drop on that drive early in the game, and I thought maybe he won't get another catch, but luckily they threw another screen to him later in the game, so that made all right there. And then the nightcap with Chicago and Green Bay. I knew Colston Loveland. I've watched too much Bears football this year that Loveland is Caleb Williams' favorite target, so the 45.5 yards felt like stealing. It felt like a gift. So I took that, and I took Caleb Williams going over the 210.5 pass yards because with no Micah Parsons, there's no reason for Caleb not to shred those boys, and he ultimately did. It took him a while, but once he got cooking in that fourth quarter, it was a no-doubter. Colston Loveland, I think he had the 45 yards before halftime. So I checked off those boxes on Saturday. I went to Sunday, and I had the first game of the day, Jacksonville and Buffalo. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was sweating a little bit because Allen got off to a slow start, and I had his combined rush and pass yards. I knew he was gonna have to use his legs, right? That's just, I know he's a little gimpy and whatever, but he's gonna have to run, Like they're just going to have to. All these quarterbacks really use their legs. You got to have a quarterback that can use his legs. Allen got it going though in that second half. Got the engine revved up. I was more concerned with Parker Washington. He left the game in the first quarter with like they checked him for a concussion. I was like, oh no, that's the only thing that can stop me is Parker Washington not finishing. Now they would have just voided him, but because it happened in the first quarter, so they would have voided it. Shout out to Sleeper for voiding guys that get injured in the first half of games, but it would have diminished the value of my ticket. No. I want my money, man. This is a beautiful ticket, and I've done this so many times this year where I've put together and crafted beautiful tickets. But I always tell you, I take it one step too far. We do something really outlandish, and it blows the ticket. Well, I knew Parker Washington. I've watched too much Jacksonville this year. Parker Washington's his favorite target, so I know he's going to get the rock. So Parker Washington went off today. So check with Josh Allen and Parker Washington, and then last game of the night, and I'm over here like, Lord, look, I've done all the work. Don't do this to me tonight. And so I got intel that Omarion Hampton was pretty much going to not be available tonight. Had he been available, Kamani Vidal, my ticket would have went down the drain. And I took a risk. And the good thing is I got in on Kamani Vidal before Sleeper understood the severity of the Omarion Hampton injury, because I got in when Omarion Hampton was still telling everybody, I'm going to play, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And so Sleeper was like, I think Omarion's going to take some of these carries, but I was like, come on, he's going to play. So I took him at 24.5 rush yards. Sleeper then went and readjusted his rush yards to 32.5. You see how many yards he had, right? So if I would have waited, I would have been screwed. But I took him at 24.5. I was a little nervous early in the game because he wasn't getting any real yards. They were running the ball. He had 11 carries, but the Patriots were being awfully stingy. But he had enough runs, enough hits. He got to 31. Once he got to 31 yards, I said, Drake May's not going to let me down. I've watched Drake May all season long throw the football all around the yard. He's going to throw for 250. He throw for 250 in his sleep every week. He's not going to let me down. And sure enough, Drake May threw for 268. That touchdown pass to Hunter Henry put him over the 268, put him over the 247 mark, put him at 268, which was his last pass attempt for the game. Cha-ching, cash your man out. I've finally done it. Finally done it. Mama, I did it. I made it. So shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. And I keep telling y'all, man, Sleeper's out here trying to bless you. They trying to you. You might as well sneeze. They trying to bless you. If you haven't already done so, please take this opportunity to download the Sleeper app. The link is in the description of this video. Use my promo code LTN to get you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. This is the perfect time because with the NBA going crazy, with the NFL playoffs, they're going to do this again next week. I promise you. It'll be 75, it'll be 80, it'll be 100% for the divisional round. This is your last chance to have all of these games going on. And the beauty of it, it's concentrated. You don't have to have 17 games with garbage teams infiltrating your ticket, forcing you to, do some things you don't want to do. Everybody's good. You know what you can rely on. You're going to get 4 more games of good football with guys that are going to deliver for you. Use this to your advantage. Make some money. Use my promo code if you haven't already done so. All right? I'm trying to help you out. Put a little bit of extra money in your pocket. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream and finally allowing the kid to get one. All right? So I'm feeling good about myself. I'm really upset at Justin Herbert because all I needed was one Keenan Allen completion. I'd have had another $200 tonight. And he had Keenan Allen right before the 2-minute warning on a simple 8-yard out. And he throws the bitch low and Allen has to dive. And he was just so awful was Justin Herbert. Cost me $200. I had another $68 if Jabari, what's the damn dude name from the damn, I just knew I was going, his stinking ass. He missed the free throw and cost me damn $68. Jabari Smith for the damn Rockets. All I needed him to do was score 10 points. He scored 9, missed the damn free throw. I could punch him in his face. Anyway, I'm too blessed to be stressed. I won 1,000. I won a thou wow tonight. I can't be upset. I'm greedy though. I'm a competitor. I should have won damn near 1,300 tonight. And honestly, I had another 500 lined up. It was really 600 lined up if Justin Herbert didn't fumble on that last possession. I just needed like 16 more yards and a Keenan Allen completion. Now I had another basically $600. And he decided to get plastered, fumble. And then I was cussing the Patriots defense, the Chargers defense out because Harbaugh was like, I ain't gonna let this shit slide. I got 2 timeouts. So I'm gonna call him like, good, let's get a stop. They'll have to punt this ball with about 40 seconds left. Herbert can get back on the field. I can get my Keenan Allen completion. All will be right with the world. And then they give up a 25-yard run to, the rookie, Trayvon Henderson. I was like, well, there goes that. Anyway, I digress. Let's get to the comment section. Suave 1988. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Suave writes, we gonna have to watch Drake or Caleb in the Super Bowl, huh? No, we won't. If one of them ends up there, it'll be Drake. Caleb and the Bears aren't going to the Super Bowl, man. You're right. They're not going. They're not beating the Rams next week. Are you kidding me? They're going to lose next week. Drake could make it. They're good. The Patriots are really good. They're really good. But I will tell you that Texans defense that they're going to have to face next week, they're really good too. The only thing is, if you ask me what offense I believed in more, what quarterback I believed in more, I believe more in Drake May than I do CJ Stroud. So if the two defenses cancel out, which I think the Texas defense is the best defense left in the postseason, but I still expect Drake May and that offense to be able to move the ball enough on them. And I think the Patriots defense is going to be able to do enough to affect CJ Stroud. I take the Patriots in that game. And I think the Bills are going to go to Denver and win. And that's going to set up an AFC East matchup similar to what we had in the NFC East last year. We're going to get the AFC East version of it. But instead of the home team just destroying and dismantling the road team and the lower seeded team, as if I'm not mistaken, the Commanders were the 6th seed last year and the Eagles were the 2 seed last year in the NFC. And it's going to be the 2-seeded Patriots and the 6-seeded Bills. It'll be actually the same thing, but I don't think the Patriots are going to destroy the Bills. I think Allen's going to finally make it to the Super Bowl. Now he's got to stay healthy. Man, he got beat up today. And he's going to probably have to have an MRI on his hand and all of that, just like Stafford did. Hopefully there's nothing there to see. But if they can find a way to make the plays they made defensively today, I like the Bills. But Drake May would be the one. If one of them made it to the Super Bowl, it'd be Drake May. It's not going to be Caleb Williams. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, having open heart surgery in the AM. Thank you for all you do. Whoa. Whoa. First of all, whoa. Second of all, whoa. And third of all, I'm going to make sure I send up some prayers your way, my guy. I don't know if you DM me this and I just didn't see it because I haven't been on social media. I'm not going to hold you. So I might have missed it. But, hey, Mob, y'all know what to do. Send the prayers up for Derek B. He's one of us. Make sure that you shower the Lord's operator with all the prayers for Derek B. as he goes under the knife tomorrow. And I already know you're going to be just fine. And you're going to come back on the other side of this thing. No worse for the wear and better because of it. And we're going to be praying for you, man. But when prayers go up, blessings come down, man. You're going to be covered, bro. You're going to be covered tomorrow. But we got you. We definitely going to hold them down, man. Soon as you good, we need to know. I'll get the word out. But soon as you good, you ain't got to say nothing. Just give me a thumbs up. DM me so I just know you good so I can let everybody else know you good. That's all I'm looking for, bro. I assume you're going to be out of it for the next couple. But as soon as you good, I just need a thumbs up from you, bro. So we know you good. All right. But prayers up for you, man. We gonna hold you down. IDK, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I hate seeing Caleb Williams, Drake May, and Bo Nix making playoff runs while the GOAT is sidelined by injury. Taking my head. I'm starting to hate these teams. I mean, there's no hate here, man. I love watching the young boys go be great. Jaden is a part of a historic draft class. We said it when it happened, and we're seeing it materialize. Caleb Williams is like that. Drake May is like that. Jaden Daniels is like that. Bo Nix is like that. We're seeing it in a historic draft class. The only thing that sucks is you got those three in the postseason, in the divisional round, all at the same time, and our boy isn't a part of the fray. That's it. That's the only thing that sucks. I have no issues watching these boys ball. I love it. But last year, they had to watch Jaden ball, and they didn't get to participate. Only one that was in the playoffs last year was Bo Nix, and he did the Homer Simpson, not Homer Simpson, the Abe Simpson. He walked in the playoffs, spun the block real quick, turned around, grabbed his hat, walked back out. So it's a role reversal now. They had to watch Jaden do his thing and get his shit off last year. Now Jaden's got to watch them get their shit off. Hopefully it motivates him. Midnight Lace 2.0. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Midnight Lace 2.0 writes, Lou, I pray to the old God and the new that we are here next year. Yeah. I prayed to the football gods. Well, I ain't prayed to him. I talked to him. They told me what was up. They told me a while back, because I was asking, like, what's this? You told me we were good. And it was like, that was before y'all went and made a deal with the devil. Now I gotta collect. What you want me to do? I was like, okay, you're right. So, you gotta pay. You gotta pay. We paid this year. We paid our penance. We should be back like cook crack next year. John Perez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy JP, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, how many more times are they going to do this with Herbert, Lou? Every year he fails when it matters. Yeah, it's rough watching him have to endure this shit, but man, he got his brains bashed in tonight. Like, they didn't give him a chance, bro. Now, he didn't give himself a chance. But every year we find ourselves saying the same thing. This offensive line is terrible. Justin Herbert's getting killed. But his play caller could have done something to help him out. I don't think that Greg Roman did him any favors tonight. None whatsoever. None. And Herbert didn't do himself any favors. And again, they're going to kill him on all of the talking head programs on Monday. They're going to kill him. And rightfully so. He deserves it. He didn't play well. He got outclassed by a rookie quarterback making his first career postseason start. It looked like polar opposites. There was a stark contrast between Drake May's calm and his ability. Now, again, different set of circumstances. May's got an offensive line. May's got, both of them have targets to get the football to. May just looked like he had been there before, and Herbert looked like he hadn't. Like he was flustered, like the pressure was getting to him. But ultimately, this is where your legacy is forged. This is where you become an elite quarterback in the postseason. Regular season shit is cool. You can win all the league MVPs you want. Axe Lamar Jackson, axe Josh Allen. All that shit is cool, fine, and dandy. But you want people to put you in that rarefied air where they can't ever touch you and they can't say shit about you. You got to perform when it matters most. Patrick Mahomes can have 3 shitty regular seasons in a row where the Chiefs don't make the playoffs. We might talk shit about him, but we wouldn't dare take him out of the, number 1 spot in the league. Because we know, and even for as poor as Mahomes and the Chiefs look this year, I had my guy, Sheree, who's a Broncos fan. Every week he'd come up here. You think the Chiefs can still get in? You think the Chiefs are still going to get in? You think the Chiefs are... Because he was worried and scared to death of Patrick Mahomes. Didn't nobody want him in the postseason because they knew even if they were the 7th seed, if those boys found a way to get in, Patrick is going to turn up in the postseason. And that's what legends are made of. And Herbert he not delivering, bro. He not delivering. And we know that's how narratives are formed. You want to buck that trend. You want to change the narrative. You got to get it done when it matters most, and that's in the postseason. And he's now 0-3 in the postseason. And as I mentioned earlier, 2 of those games, the last 2 in particular, have been putrid performances by Justin Herbert. Yes, they got to protect him better. I think they need to call a better game. But damn, he can't miss some of these throws. He was off. He was off. Anyway, I digress. I think that's it. I'm gonna get my life together. My life has not been together. I'm gonna get all of the winners and losers information squared away. Do the video tomorrow. Get the winner their money. I'm gonna get my life together. I swear. I got so much going on. Only if y'all knew how much I had going on behind the scenes right now. But I'm juggling. I'm managing. I did not anticipate all of the Commanders news that broke last week and all the things that happened. So that kind of threw me out of whack because I already didn't have a lot of time to begin with. So next week, I am going to, my goal is to try to do it on Monday. Just knock it out, get it out of the way. If I don't do it Monday, I will definitely have it done by Tuesday. So whoever won, winners and losers, can get their bread. I think I owe a couple people from the last few weeks of the weekly pick'em pool. My life is not together, bro. I definitely got to get my life together. So I'm going to make sure I get it done either Monday or Tuesday for those of you waiting for the finale for that. So, yeah, I will definitely take care of that this week. No worries. Anyway, I digress. Patriots get it done 16-3. Looked really good doing it. Again, there were some mistakes in there that kept this game a lot closer than it needed to be. But if you watch this game, the score doesn't really indicate how lopsided it felt watching it. The Chargers never felt like they were a threat to win this game. And it was really because of that Patriots defense. And I thought Drake May did a lot of good things, although it didn't show up on the stat sheet necessarily. Did have the turnovers. That is something that they have to clean up if they are to advance next week. And there's a very opportunistic, ferocious defense. If they are to win in the Houston Texans next week coming to town, they cannot play that level of football in terms of taking care of the football or lack thereof and expect to beat the Texans, assuming that they win. If the Steelers somehow pull I'm calling it an upset because I don't expect the Steelers to win the game at all. Then it'll be a much easier path for the Patriots to the AFC Championship game because the Patriots should beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. But the Texans are going to be a formidable challenge for them because that defense is so good. But again, we will see. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Wildcard Weekend Overtime. What a weekend of football it was. We're not done. There's still one more game for us to consume tomorrow night. Steelers hosting the Houston Texans, the 4-5 matchup in the AFC. That will complete Wildcard Weekend, and what a weekend. It's the greatest Wildcard Weekend we've ever seen. Let's hope it ends with a bang and the exclamation point that it deserves and not a whimper tomorrow night. But whatever the case may be, I'll be here to break it all down with you. Looking forward to doing that. And one more time, big ups and big shout out and prayers up to our guy, Derek B., who's having open heart surgery tomorrow. You're in our thoughts and prayers, my guy. We love you, and we expect a speedy recovery. All I'm looking for from you is a thumbs up so that we know you're good. I'll disseminate the information and spread the message so everybody knows that their prayers were answered. But we definitely going to cover you with prayer tonight, my guy. You take care of yourself. We look forward to talking to you in the future. Everybody else, have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless, and good night. Peace.